A common critique I get of feminists whenever I attack feminism or women for the rise of things like casual sexual relationships or single motherhood or abortion is that somehow I am making this entirely a woman problem when men are also involved. And that's a fair critique, but here's my response. You cannot control the actions of another person. You can only control the actions of yourself. You cannot choose whether the man that you're sleeping with is going to leave you in 6 months before you have your child. You can choose not to sleep with him in the first place until he gives you commitment, and this used to be seen as through marriage. But apparently waiting until marriage is wrong because we should be able to have all the sex we want consequence-free. Like you realize that the moral standards were what they were before the 70s for a reason, right? Wasn't us trying to oppress women. It wasn't trying to keep everybody segregated. It was because it worked and it protected women. In 1960, only 9% of children were raised in single-parent homes, and only 5% of single mothers had never been married before. Most of them were divorced or they were widowed. In 2025, 40% of children are born to unmarried mothers, and 51% of single mothers have never been married before. These things are connected. And the reason that this is primarily a woman's problem is because women are the ones that suffer the most from this. And let me reiterate this because it's been a minute and you need a reminder. I am not saying that men are not involved in this process. What I am saying is that you cannot control what the men are doing. What you can control is what you are doing and how that relates to what is going to happen to you. If women would force men to commit to them before they allowed them to have sex with them, most of these problems would be solved. And it would force the men to straighten up too if they wanted sexual access to any women. We need to get out of this mindset that sex should be seen as something casual and something that everybody should be okay doing without any consequences attached to it, because the consequences are very real, and it's been playing out over the last 50 years, and it has very obviously not been a good thing for society. Women, you control access to sex. You should be taking that responsibility very seriously, especially because you bear the brunt of all of the consequences, both physical and social. And you should not be giving that access to anybody and everybody. Make a man commit to you before you give him access to your body. I think if women took back this standard and started enforcing it again like they did before 1970, I think the world and the relationship between men and women would be a lot better than it currently is. But I'm just some white guy. What do I know?